Anda sedang mendengarkan UT Radio, Open Education Station for All.
Halo, saya Angga Yunanda, mahasiswa Ilmu Komunikasi Universitas Terbuka. Saya baru saja menyelesaikan studi saya di Ilmu Komunikasi. Terima kasih banyak UT telah memberikan akses edukasi yang sangat menyeluruh kepada pemuda-pemudi Indonesia.
Saya benar-benar yakin bahwa masa depan Indonesia itu bertumpu pada Universitas Terbuka ini. Tidak mungkin ada revolusi pendidikan tanpa teknologi, dan sekarang universitas yang sudah full online, full teknologi ya Universitas Terbuka. Ya semoga Universitas Terbuka ini semakin berkembang, amin, semakin baik ke depannya, karena benar-benar untuk bisa meningkatkan skill dari seluruh lulusan SMA di Indonesia yang banyak sekali, itu ya paling mudah dan paling scalable itu ya melalui online. Sesuatu yang tidak mungkin bisa terjadi tanpa adanya teknologi. Dan Universitas Terbuka itu adalah a key player in this, di higher education.
Pengen kuliah? Kuliah di perguruan tinggi negeri, pusing dengan biaya tes masuk. Bukan cuma itu, biaya kos, biaya makan, ongkos, kuota mahal. Gak usah galau, kan ada UT, kuliah di Universitas Terbuka. Tanpa ongkos, tanpa kos, iya. Hasilnya, jos! Universitas Terbuka, kuliah fleksibel sesuai gayamu.
Good day, UT listeners. I'm glad to be announcer today. I am Eka Ardhinie in Coffee Break program UT Radio, Open Education Station for All. And then today the topic is about growth mindset and critical thinking in the public sector. And the speaker is Professor Dr. Norhayati Mohamed, Professor at Accounting Research Institute, Universiti Teknologi, Malaysia. UT listeners, welcome to the Coffee Break program for Public Finance Accounting, Citizen SAWADIKAP, in collaboration with the Public Finance Accounting Study Program. We are delighted to bring this program to you live from Multimedia Development Center building at Open University on Jalan Pondok Cabe Raya in South Tangerang. For your convenience, UT listeners can join the Coffee Break program via live streaming on our website at www.utradio.ut.ac.id. Additionally, you have the option to catch the live broadcast on the Open University TV YouTube channel. For your immersive experience, don't forget to tune in to PSAKP live on Instagram at @prodiakp_FEBUT. Let the engaging and informative session begin. With the listeners, in this session of the Coffee Break program, we are honored to present a direct sharing from Professor at Accounting Research Institute, Universiti Teknologi Malaysia, Professor Norhayati Mohamed. And the topic for today's discussion is growth mindset and critical thinking in the public sector. As you engage with the Coffee Break program today, UT listeners, we encourage you to immerse yourself fully. The aim is that following this session, you will not only listen attentively, but also embrace the opportunity to enhance your growth mindset and critical thinking in the public sector, contributing to your personal growth and refining your English speaking proficiency. If you have any questions about this program or about this topic, feel free to reach out in the following ways. You can leave the comment or the question at UT TV Live, and then you can send direct message to our Instagram at radio.ut, and then by using WhatsApp
Good afternoon. Hi.
Okay, and then we appreciate your presence in our virtual studio, and you live from Malaysia, is that right?
Correct, yes.
Okay, I'm Eka from Pondok Cabe, UT Radio.
Nice.
Mhm.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, you're welcome, and also extending a warm welcome to Mrs. Ratna Marta Dewi SAM ACC AK, the head of the Public Finance Accounting Study Program. Good afternoon, Mrs. Ratna. How are you today?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you. Hi, the listeners.
Okay, before we are going to our discussion with the listeners, we would like to hear some opening remarks from Mrs. Ratna, the head of PSAKP. Over to you, Mrs. Ratna, please.
Yeah, thank you. Greetings, everyone, and a warm welcome to all. I'm Ratna Mata Dewi, honored to serve as the head of the Public Financial Accounting Study Program at Universitas Terbuka. I extend my sincere gratitude to our esteemed speaker, Prof. Dr. Norhayati Mohamed from the Accounting Research Institute, the Universiti Teknologi Malaysia. Hello, Prof. Good day.
Hello, good day, Miss Ratna.
As well as to all participants joining us today. Special thanks to the diligent committee team for their efforts in organizing this SAWADIKAP program. Before we delve into the program, allow me to express my heartfelt wishes for a wonderful Idul Fitri to those celebrating. Mohon maaf lahir dan batin. In Thai, Sawadikap means hello. Interestingly, Sawadikap also serves as an abbreviation for the greeting activities tailored for public financial accounting study program students and alumni, regardless of their location. Of course, in bahasa, Sawadikap means sapa warga akuntansi keuangan publik.
Oh.
Yeah, this program
Multiple meanings.
this program is designed to cultivate warm greetings and facilitate knowledge sharing among our community. Our goal is to provide students with comprehensive insights from alumni, practitioners, and academics. Through this, we aim to facilitate valuable comparisons and glean best practices to shape a brighter future. Yeah, today we will focus on enhancing our soft skill, particularly fostering a growth mindset and cultivating critical thinking in managing public sector organizations. Additionally, we will emphasize the importance of English as an international language. This effort aligns closely with the vision and mission of the Public Financial Accounting Study Program and Universitas Terbuka's aspiration to be a world-class university. Ultimately, we aspire for our program to contribute significantly to the enhancement of public services, which stands as its core objective. Without further delay, I encourage you to immerse yourself in this course and feel free to ask questions for clarification from our speaker. Remember, hesitation to inquire may lead you astray. You can also revisit this program to the UTTV channel for further insight. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Ratna, for your welcoming words, and also just join in the Zoom, and maybe you have also question later on. I will say it to Prof. Nur, ya. Okay, Prof. Nur, before we are going to discuss about growth mindset and critical thinking in the public sector, I would like to know more about you. Your background education, for example, and then your daily activity. Please introduce to us.
Okay, thank you very much to the person in charge. As you have mentioned, I'm Professor Norhayati, can call me Prof. Nur, from the Accounting Research Institute, Universiti Teknologi Mara, Malaysia. Accounting Research Institute is actually a center of excellence. So at UITM, in order to enhance the research program, in addition to the faculties, we have centers of excellence. The centers of excellence will focus on a strategic topic, very focused. For example, Accounting Research Institute, we focus on financial or Islamic financial criminology. So, a little bit of my background. I graduated long time ago with a bachelor degree and a master's degree from the US, University of Nebraska Lincoln in the USA. And after that, I continued with my doctoral study in Malaysia at Universiti Putra Malaysia. So that was a long time ago, and I've been with UITM. I have also my background. I was seconded to the Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia, where I was involved in the development of the Malaysia Education Blueprint for Higher Education. So Alhamdulillah, after I come back to UITM, after 5.5 years at the ministry, I joined Accounting Research Institute, and I became the Deputy Director for Postgraduate and International.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's where I know Dr. Halim. Yeah, he graduated from ARI. So we offer doctoral study and also masters in financial criminology and Islamic finance and muamalat. So financial criminology is a very interesting field. Yeah, we deal with all the, for example, money laundering, corporate governance, integrity, risk, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So I think with my years of experience and dealing with people, I am very excited to share today about having to have the growth mindset and also critical thinking.
Okay. Have you come to Indonesia, Prof. Nur?
Yes, I have been to Indonesia quite a number of times, especially after the MCO. Yeah, after the COVID. Since 2022, I've been to Jakarta a few times. I've been to Lampung, I've been to Palembang, I've been to, a few other places, to Batam. So, to promote Accounting Research Institute, to promote UITM, and to promote ARI in general.
Okay.
So, if there's rezeki, I might be going next month.
Which one is the favorite city maybe in Indonesia that you have come?
Oh, I like them all. Oh, I went to Jogja. We touched down in Jogja, and then we went to Jakarta and then Bogor. And then, so I like them all.
Oh.
Each place is different. Of course, the food, and the shopping. In Jakarta, the shopping.
Tanah Abang, Tamrin City, you know that.
Yeah, yes. Looking
Okay.
forward to go there.
Prof
Okay.
Nur, but how did finally you connect with Universitas Terbuka?
Through Dr. Halim.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Halim is our alumnus. He did his PhD there, and we are still working together to get some of his colleagues, a few of his colleagues, to actually join us as students, postgraduate students at RE.
Okay. Okay, Prof Nur, could we start our discussion today?
Okay. Sure.
Okay, yeah. My first question, what is growth mindset and why is growth mindset very important?
Okay. Yeah, so we have to discuss that first. Shall I share my PowerPoint?
Okay.
Okay, all right. Let me share. Okay. Can everybody see this?
Yes?
Okay. All right. So I think if before anything, we need to understand what do we mean by growth mindset. We know from the word growth that we cannot stay put. We have to adapt to change. So this concept actually was developed by psychologist Carol Dweck, and it is the belief that we can actually change our abilities and intelligence. Yeah. Sometimes we think that our abilities and intelligence are fixed. We are born that way, but with a growth mindset, the thinking is that we can actually change our ability and intelligence. And how can we do that? We can do that by dedication, hard work, and of course feedback from others. So that's what we mean by a growth mindset. If we feel that, yes, I can change, therefore we are then more open to suggestions and more open to feedback from others. So why is it important when we talk about the growth mindset? Yeah. So as we discussed just now, when you are growing, it means you are changing. So, and that is very important because our environment is changing. So therefore, our mindset has to also change with our situation. So it must grow. So having a growth mindset is very important because it encourages learning and resilience. The box here, yeah, it encourages learning because in order to grow, we need to learn. Now, when we say learn, usually we think about learning about new things. Of course, when we learn about new things. But we also have to unlearn. Okay, so the concept of unlearn, maybe it is because we have been doing certain things in a certain way, but it's no longer effective. So we need to unlearn our old ways. So learning involves learning, unlearning, and we need to relearn. Okay, relearn means that maybe it's skill that we had before in the past, but we have lost it. So we need to relearn. So when we talk about learning, is unlearning and relearning. Yeah, and that is why a growth mindset is important because we have to be involved in this process of learning. And when we have that growth mindset, whatever challenge that happen, we don't see it as a problem. We see it as an opportunity for us to learn. Okay? So that's how you train your mindset. If you see a challenge, this is an opportunity to learn. This is where it shows, that you have a growth mindset. And once you develop that mindset, you will continue to learn and you become resilient. Meaning, whatever challenge comes, Since you don't see it as a problem, you see it as an opportunity, you will become more motivated to solve it, to face it. So you become resilient, right? And you are more likely to persevere through difficulties, because we know that every day we are faced with challenge, difficulties, problems. But with a growth mindset, we see that as an opportunity. So we become more resilient, lagi kuat, ya, and we become persevere. Kita sanggup, kita tahan, kita wait until it is finished. And if there's a failure during whatever that we are doing, it becomes part of the learning process. So that's where we are resilient. Yeah? If there's failure, it's okay. It's part of the learning process. And with that, it will enhance our performance. So with this growth mindset, because you see everything as an opportunity, you learn, you relearn, you unlearn. And most likely, if you are a student, you will achieve higher grades. If you are already working, you will achieve success in your career because of this mindset. So that's why it's important. And you are focused on yourself rather than focusing on other people. When you have a growth mindset, you are always thinking, how can I improve myself? How can I take the opportunity? How can I be better? Yeah, and like in Islam, you always say muhasabah. You always reflect. How can I be better? What did I do wrong today? Oh, then that is something that I can learn. All right. So with this growth mindset, you also promote adaptability. In other words, you are not afraid of change. You are more open to change, and you are, of course, better prepared to handle new and unexpected challenge. So that is why it's so important that we cultivate this growth mindset. Yeah, and of course, once you believe that you can change, that whatever you do, you can improve yourself, you will become more motivated, because you believe that the more effort you put in, the more you will improve. So the more effort you will put in, and you will be motivated to put in the effort, and you will be more likely to succeed. And you will be very focused, and you will deeply engaged and persistent with doing your task, because you believe that as you do the task, you will learn, and as you learn, you will become better. So this is the growth mindset that we're talking about. Yeah, and once you are focused on yourself, improving yourself, making yourself better, you are learning new things, you are looking at challenges as opportunities, you will become more likely to collaborate with others, because you don't look at others as a threat. You look at others as an opportunity for you to learn more. So once you have this growth mindset, you will become more cooperative, more collaborative. So the environment that you are in will become more collaborative environment. Yeah, because you don't need to prove yourself, because you know you are very confident. Yes, you know that you are always trying to learn new things, trying to become better. So you don't worry about other people, because you are focused on yourself. And with that mindset, you are willing to share information and support others. Yeah, and you celebrate other people's successes. You don't become stingy and become like so focused on yourself. Focus on what other people, how other people are doing better than you. No, you focus on improving yourself, and as you become better, you are more willing to share with others. Yeah, so this is by having a growth mindset, it promotes all this. So that is why it is so important to have this growth mindset. Yeah, and it's very relevant in the public sector. We know that in the private sector, of course, if you don't have the growth mindset, your business might go bankrupt. In public sector, we may not go bankrupt, but we will not become efficient. We will not be performing. Yeah. So therefore, growth mindset, it is needed. It's important because evolving challenges require innovative solutions and continual skill development. And to achieve that, we must have that growth mindset. Yeah. So I stop there first.
Yeah. Okay, Prof. Nur, you have explained all about growth mindset completely, and then after that, we want to know about what is the opposite of growth mindset.
Right. So it's very important, right? So we're saying that we want to have this growth mindset. So what if you don't have it? What is the opposite of it? So the opposite of the growth mindset is having a fixed mindset. You know, like as from the word fixed, it's like I'm not going anywhere, isn't it? So it is static. It's not changing. So this is something that we do not want to have. Yeah. So the definition is that the individual believe that their ability, their intelligence, their talent are fixed, cannot be changed. So just stay there, you know, stay put. So this is something we do not want to have, yeah, a fixed mindset. And someone with a fixed mindset, they try to avoid challenges because to them, my ability is fixed. If there's a challenge, that's it. I cannot solve it. I cannot face it. So they give up easily. And then if they see other people succeed, they feel threatened. You know, like, oh, why is it that that person succeed? And they don't want to do anything because they have this fixed mindset. They say, oh, that's all. That's all I know. You know, they believe that they have a set amount of talent or intelligence, and this cannot be improved significantly. So, if we are in a situation and suddenly we start to think like, oh, this is so difficult. I cannot do this. I'm going to give up. Please try and stop that kind of thinking. Yeah, that is a fixed mindset thinking. Try to be the growth mindset to say, okay, this is an opportunity. I must think of a way to do this. I am good. All right. So I have all the resources around me. Maybe I can talk to my friends. Maybe I can read up. Maybe I can ask ChatGPT. Yeah. So with that growth mindset, you will always thinking about how do you solve this challenge? How do you face it? All right. So with a fixed mindset, this is similar to a closed mindset. Yeah. So you resist. If there's a new idea, you resist the new idea. You don't want to change, and you are not willing to get feedback. All right. So if this is how you are feeling right now, if this is your mindset, this is a closed or a fixed mindset. Try to get rid of it. Yeah. And if you are in organization, you know, if you have your boss, just imagine you are trying to have a growth mindset and then your boss has a fixed mindset. So it become a challenge. Yeah. So again, if you are a growth mindset, that will become a challenge. You try to, you know, get your boss to change or get your subordinate people below to change, to embrace this growth mindset. Yeah. And of course, it cannot happen on its own. You have to cultivate this growth mindset. It's like when you plant a tree, you have to put, you know, you have to water the plant so that it will grow. So a growth mindset doesn't happen on its own. If you are the boss, you must inculcate it. As an individual, you must inculcate growth mindset and you must get rid of this fixed mindset. Yeah. If you notice that, oh, I have that kind of thinking, you know, where you are afraid to change, you are threatened by people who succeed, then you feel that you cannot be more intelligent, that you cannot, that's it. Try and get rid of that kind of thinking. Yeah?
Okay, this is very interesting for us because maybe someday we have different critical thinking or growth mindset with our boss, different mindset. Okay, Prof Nur, the next question is, could you give the example of growth mindset in the public sector, but don't answer right now because we have non-commercial break and we will back again after those non-commercial break. Okay, listeners, don't go anywhere. We will back again after this non-commercial break.
Okay. Should I stop?
Anda sedang mendengarkan UT Radio, Open Education Station for All.
Eni, kita harus berpisah sebentar. Aku akan kuliah di kota demi cita-cita kita. Tunggu aku pulang.
Jangan, Oma. Kamu kuliah di UT saja. Kamu bisa terus bernyanyi dan kita bisa selalu bersama.
Oh iya, aku lupa. Terlalu. UT kan negeri dan masih bisa kuliah dari mana saja.
Betul, Oma.
Hanya di Universitas Terbuka.
Oma.
Eni, kita harus berpisah sebentar. Aku akan kuliah di kota demi cita-cita kita. Tunggu aku pulang.
Jangan, Oma. Kamu kuliah di UT saja. Kamu bisa terus bernyanyi dan kita bisa selalu bersama.
Oh iya, aku lupa. Terlalu. UT kan negeri dan masih bisa kuliah dari mana saja.
Betul, Oma.
Hanya di Universitas Terbuka.
Di Universitas Terbuka. Kali ini aku akan mengajak kamu untuk virtual campus tour di Universitas Terbuka.
Universitas Terbuka atau UT memiliki kantor pusat di Pondok Cabe, Tangerang Selatan, serta 39 unit program belajar jarak jauh atau UPBJJ yang tersebar di seluruh Indonesia.
Rangka mendukung layanan kepada mahasiswa, berbagai sarana dan prasarana dibangun dan terus ditingkatkan kualitasnya. Ayo kita mulai.
Di kantor pusat, terdapat gedung fakultas yang merupakan jantung dari pengembangan produk akademik UT. Gedung fakultas telah dilengkapi dengan sarana dan prasarana untuk mendukung kenyamanan bekerja. Terdapat 4 fakultas di Universitas Terbuka dan 1 sekolah pasca sarjana. Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan.
Joining with us in Cafe Break program UT Radio Open Education Station for All, and still with me Eka Ardhinie. Okay, Prof Nur, we back again in our discussion about growth mindset and critical thinking in the public sector. And the question is about, could you explain the example of growth mindset in the public sector? Hello?
Hello, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Could you hear my voice, Prof Nur?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the next question is the example of growth mindset in the public sector. Could you explain about it?
All right, okay. I will share with the audience a scenario that usually this particular scenario usually happen at the university. For example, let me share. Yeah. Oh, now at my place is raining, so probably you can hear the thunder. You know? Let's see, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So this is the example. The scenario is that, like at the university, you know, you want to keep track in terms of the number of publications that your lecturers, your students published, right? So what we're supposed to do is to actually key in all the publication. Let's say we published in a journal article, so we need to record it so that the university know how many publications that we have that year, you know, for a total. So to make it easy to keep track of the number of publication, we came up with a system where we just key in the name of the article, you know, who our co-authors are, which journal, the date of the journal and everything. Yeah. So but before it was launched, it needed to be developed. Yeah. So I took back that scenario here. So the background is that a university tech team is tasked with developing and launching a new publication tracking system. So early in the development phase, the team encounters significant technical challenges that threaten the project timeline and overall success. Okay, so now you have challenges. Okay, all right. So how do you apply? How do you behave if you have a growth mindset? All right. Okay, let's see. So, usually what you do is that first you acknowledge that you have the challenge. Okay, you understand. Yes, we have a problem. So you need to start finding the solution. Okay. So the situation here, for example, the system is not performing as expected in early tests, leading to potential delay, right? So if you have a fixed mindset, it's like, oh no, that's it, give up, yeah? But if you have a growth mindset, what do? So instead of blaming each other, so if you have a fixed mindset, you will say, oh, we are in trouble, it's because of you. You were the one who was supposed to do this. You start, you know,
blaming other.
Yeah, blaming one another. Yeah, so that's not a growth mindset. Okay, so a growth mindset is instead of blaming each other or giving up on the project, the team hosts a brainstorming session. Okay, you keep calm. You keep calm. You hold a brainstorming session. And each member is encouraged to voice their concern and propose a solution. So you must create this situation where everybody feels safe to give their opinion. if you started to blame people, you start scolding people, do you think that people will give their opinion? They will not, right? So to encourage a growth mindset, if you are the leader, you must create a situation where people feel safe, selamat, to give their opinion. So then you will encourage the growth mindset. And then once you get all this concern, the solution, you know that there must be some mistakes that were done, right? So instead of again blaming or scolding someone for the mistake, you learn from the mistake. So maybe the situation is that in your attempt to fix the problem, if it fails, you may realize that their original approach was flawed. So you then realize, oh, we did this, or it didn't work. We should change. But again, don't blame or scold people, all right? So the team, the action that you take if you have this growth mindset is that the team will openly discuss what went wrong, what can be learned from the failure. They research and study similar cases and seek advice from more experienced colleagues to understand different approaches. Okay, so that is having a growth mindset. And then the third thing that you do is you adapt and implement the new strategies after you have consulted the people, more knowledgeable colleagues. So the situation is that after gathering new insights, the team decided to pivot and employ a different technological framework that is more robust and suitable for the project's needs. Okay, so with a growth mindset, this is what you will do. Despite the problem, despite the setback, the team is still motivated to master this new framework. Yeah, so they're excited. Oh, what we did before this did not work. Okay, let's try this new thing. Right, you're excited. So they organize internal workshop and training session to get up to speed quickly, so that you train people so that everyone knows what to do quickly. And from what we have discussed, that takes collaborative effort and peer support. So as you are trying to do these new things, some of your team members may be a little bit slower to learn, may be struggling. So some team members struggle more than others with the transition to the new framework. So in a growth mindset situation, instead of working in silos, working on your own, not collaborating, team members pair up, work together. Maybe you have a buddy, pair up for peer programming sessions, sharing knowledge and helping each other overcome the learning curve. So this is what we call a growth mindset. You have collaborative effort and peer support. Okay. The next one, since everybody is now trying to learn this new thing, you reflect on the process and plan for future improvements. So as the project nears completion, the team reflects on the entire development process. Okay. So the growth mindset is that you hold retrospective meeting to discuss what worked well, what didn't, focusing on how they can apply these lessons to future projects. So this is what a growth mindset action is. You know that there was a mistake, but you learn from the mistake. You help one another to learn the new ways to do things, and then after that, once you have implemented, you have a meeting to learn from the mistake, to say, okay, what did we do wrong? What did we do well? Okay, what shouldn't we do next time? How do we move forward? All right? And then, Alhamdulillah, you can celebrate learning alongside success because the system launch is successful, meeting the revised timelines. Okay, and with a growth mindset action, all right, the team celebrates not only the launch, but also the process of learning, the journey that they underwent. Okay? So they highlight the growth of each team member and the collective resilience and adaptability they demonstrated. All right. So having this growth mindset, if you are ever in a project, there is always challenges, you know, and there is always a time when you feel like you want to scold someone, right? You want to raise your voice and say, why did you do this? But you must remember, okay, this is from my experience, right? I have so many years of experience because of my age, you know. I noticed that if I control myself and, okay, don't scold, don't raise my voice, keep calm, right, and suggest a solution. And at the end of the day, you notice that your team members will be happier. And once the project is finished, you know that, oh my God, if you had scolded your team member, you will feel so ashamed. You will feel so sorry, you know. So each time that after the project is completed, when I think back, I will always say, Alhamdulillah, I did not scold that person. Alhamdulillah, I did not raise my voice. You know, so each time when I'm faced with that situation again, I remember what happened the last time and how well it worked when you remain calm, you try to work together with your team and find a solution.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the growth mindset. Yeah, so always remember that.
Okay, Prof. Nur, people or student may ask this question: is there any the step demonstrating of growth mindset? Maybe could you define it to us?
I'm sorry. Would I? Sorry.
Maybe people or student will ask this question: is there any step demonstrating of growth mindset? Could you define it?
So these are the 6 steps. You know, the first thing you must acknowledge that there is challenge. We are facing a challenge. You must accept that, and with a growth mindset, you automatically you try and find a solution. Okay, don't start blaming others, and then when you try to seek solution, usually there's a challenge because there is a mistake that happened. But what do? You don't blame people. You learn from the mistake. All right. Once you learn, you adapt and you implement that new strategy. And you must get everybody on board because not everybody understand the new strategy. They may not have the ability, so you teach them. Okay. And then after that you reflect on the process and you plan for the future. And once everything is completed, has succeeded, then you must feel that, oh, Alhamdulillah, the project has finished. But the learning process is something that is more important. Yeah. Similarly, when you do your study, when you do your PhD, for example, okay, at the end of 4 years, you will get this certificate. That certificate is very important. But the way that you become a better person is not because of that certificate only. Because sometimes people can cheat and buy the certificate, right? It's not that certificate only, but the journey that you have to go through to get that certificate. Yeah, you become a PhD holder, and it shows through your thinking, through your perseverance, through your the growth that you handle. You won't be able to get PhD if you don't have that growth mindset.
Okay, Prof. Nur, and after knowing the step of demonstrating growth mindset, so what is critical thinking, Prof?
Okay. what is critical thinking now? Yeah. So you have this mindset. Not only your mindset is growing, you must also be critical. When we think about the word critical, the thing that comes to mind is always analyzing, isn't it? You analyze. Okay. So the definition is, it is a cognitive process, cognitive meaning thinking, yeah, that involves analyzing information. So when you get information, you analyze. One simple example, because we have so many information, news that are being thrown to us through the social media. The first thing, if you have a critical thinking, you analyze the information first. Is this true? Does this make sense? Is this the correct information? Yeah, and that is critical thinking. And then you evaluate the evidence. All right, you must evaluate the evidence, because critical thinking is like you look at the facts. All right, so you evaluate the evidence and reasoning. Okay, you have all this information, you evaluate the evidence, you reason out, oh, this is going to be true because it looks like this, and this is the person saying this news look old. All right, so you reason systematically in order to form a judgment or conclusion. Okay, so this critical thinking is the process that you go through. Now you look at what's happening, you analyze the information, you evaluate the evidence, you reason out systematically, and then you form a judgment or conclusion. So you don't just like palm, you look at something, oh, you make a judgment. Cannot. Critical thinking, you have to go through this process. And in order to have this critical thinking, usually is often defined as the ability to think clearly, clearly and rationally. It's like we don't jump to conclusion. So critical thinking, you must have this. So it looks like intellectual, isn't it? You analyze, you reason out, and then you form the judgment, and your thinking is, you have very clear, you are able to think clearly and rationally. So it needs that patience to go through that step. Okay. So what are the components of critical thinking? Yeah, here it includes analysis, again, analyze, evaluate, interpret, yeah, and sometimes you have to infer. Infer meaning you may not be able to get all the information, but from your observation, from the fact, evidence, you infer. Okay, with all this evidence, this is what I think it is. Right? And then you explain, and you self-regulate. Okay, you self-regulate, meaning you must be confident of what you think. All right. So these are the components. I can go ahead and go in detail. What are the components?
Okay. Yeah, Prof. So the ability to think clearly and rationally. Right? Okay. But could you explain about the component and developing of critical thinking, Prof. Nur?
All right. Okay. So again, these are the components. Yeah, analysis. When we say analysis, it sounds simple, right? So what do you do? Because in the real world out there are information, and sometimes the information is complex. All right. So what you do is you break it down. Break down the complex information into manageable parts. Okay, so that you understand the relationships, okay, and how they contribute to the overall structure. So in fact, just now when we talk about growth mindset, you have a problem, you face a challenge. So you break it down. You break down the challenges or the problem that you have, okay? And you try to make it manageable, because sometimes if the challenge becomes too big, yeah, you have a project, you want to launch a product, you want to launch this a system, a computer system. So when the problem happen, it could be too large. You have to break it down, okay, to analyze, and then you evaluate. When we say evaluate, we assess the credibility and validity of information, okay, the sources, arguments, all right. And again, when you go to the social media, you will be bombarded with all sorts of information. You must assess the credibility and validity of the information, and that is goes without saying. So as an academic, you are. I think that you are students, intellectuals. So please do that, yeah. Then only you interpret, making sense. Does this make sense? When you hear, for example, now we are very sorry for what's happening to the people of Palestine, right? So there are a lot of information, but sometimes the information is not true, and it makes it it's sad that they're trying to tell trying to spread false story about Palestine, things like that. So yeah, we must make sense. Look at the information. Sometimes they use AI, to say that a few of the Israel airplane has been shot. I mean, yeah, myself, I'm happy, but is that information true? So we must look at. Sometimes they just use AI. All right. Okay. So we must make sense of the information, the data, observation, and then we infer. Infer is draw logical conclusion from available evidence and assumption. So these are the components. These are the things that you must do, which shows that you have critical thinking. The word critical, okay, and the word thinking, meaning that it happens in your mind, and these are the steps to be critical. And once you have made that inference, then you explain. Yeah, if you have made the decision, you are able to clearly and accurately articulate the reasoning. If you say, this is what I think, so you come up with a conclusion, you should be able to tell people, how did you come up with that conclusion? It's like when you do your thesis, you must have that literature review to say, okay, this is the reason I say this, because people have done research in the past, and this is my conclusion. Yeah, and whatever it is, it depends on yourself. What the conclusion that you come up with, it really reflects your belief. What your values are, your belief, your thought processes, how you think, the method, right? So you must be aware that, and you must make sure that your mindset, again, clear, your belief is based on your values, yeah, and without undue influence from biases or emotional responses. So that's where you try to be as critical as possible. You must try not to be biased or be emotional.
Okay. Yeah, Prof. Nur, please wait until the third session because we have break again. And then, okay. The listeners, don't go anywhere. Stay tuning in UT Radio, Open Education Station for all.
di Universitas Terbuka. Kali ini aku akan mengajak kamu untuk virtual campus tour di Universitas Terbuka.
Universitas Terbuka atau UT memiliki kantor pusat di Pondok Cabe, Tangerang Selatan, serta 39 unit program belajar jarak jauh atau UPBJJ yang tersebar di seluruh Indonesia.
Rangka mendukung layanan kepada mahasiswa, berbagai sarana dan prasarana dibangun dan terus ditingkatkan kualitasnya. Ayo kita mulai.
Di kantor pusat, terdapat gedung fakultas yang merupakan jantung dari pengembangan produk akademik UT. Gedung fakultas telah dilengkapi dengan sarana dan prasarana untuk mendukung kenyamanan bekerja. Terdapat 4 fakultas di Universitas Terbuka dan 1 sekolah pasca sarjana. Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan, Fakultas Sains dan Teknologi, Fakultas Hukum, Ilmu Sosial dan Ilmu Politik, dan Fakultas Ekonomi, serta Sekolah Pasca Sarjana. Gedung fakultas memiliki sarana dan prasarana yang terstandar yang terdiri dari masing-masing fakultas menempati 2 lantai. 1 lantai diperuntukkan untuk ruang layanan mahasiswa, ruang konsultasi mahasiswa, ruang dekan, ruang wakil dekan, ruang kepala bagian tata usaha, ruang tenaga kependidikan, dan ruang sidang. Ruang sidang dilengkapi dengan fasilitas video conference yang digunakan untuk rapat koordinasi dengan dosen yang tersebar di UPBJJ, serta ujian sidang untuk mahasiswa pasca sarjana. Ruang dosen menempati 1 lantai yang terdiri dari ruang sidang, ruang dosen, ruang ketua jurusan, dan ruang ketua program studi. Masing-masing lantai dilengkapi dengan ruang makan, musola, dan toilet yang nyaman dan bersih. Masing-masing dosen dan tenaga kependidikan memiliki kubikel sebagai ruang kerja. Kubikel ini berukuran 2 x 1,5 meter. Setiap kubikel dilengkapi dengan komputer yang telah terinstall Microsoft 365 yang berlisensi. Untuk mendukung layanan kepada mahasiswa, Universitas Terbuka juga memiliki beberapa sarana dan prasarana pendukung sebagai berikut. Pusat Produksi Multimedia merupakan unit pelaksana teknis yang bertugas untuk memproduksi bahan ajar. Gedung ini dilengkapi dengan peralatan produksi materi-materi dalam bentuk video dan audio. Produksi materi cetak juga diproduksi di sini dengan menggunakan peralatan dan software terkini. Pusat Layanan Bahan Ajar merupakan unit pelaksana teknis yang bertugas untuk melakukan distribusi bahan ajar. Gedung ini dilengkapi sarana dan prasarana untuk menyimpan dan pengemasan bahan ajar dan bahan ujian. Pusat Layanan Pustaka atau Puslata. UPT Puslata melayani penyediaan bahan-bahan pustaka bagi mahasiswa dan dosen. Puslata mengelola penyediaan bahan-bahan pustaka baik dalam bentuk hard copy maupun koleksi digital. Koleksi digital yang
listening and watching us in UT Radio, Open Education Station for All at the Cafe Break program UT Radio. And then this is the 3rd session, Prof. Nur. So maybe I just only have 2 questions more for you. Okay, the question is why the critical thinking in the public sector is so important.
Okay, all right. Let me share my screen again.
Okay.
Okay, the importance of Okay. So why is critical thinking in the public sector so important? Right. Essentially, once you have critical thinking, your decision making will be more effective, and your policy analysis will also be more effective. Because what happens when you're critical thinking, when you are faced with a challenge, you go through that process just now. You analyze, you find evidence, you break it down, and then you try find solution, and you have a clear thinking. So the decision that you have at the end will be a good decision because you have critically analyzed it. Yeah. With that effective decision making and policy analysis, it improves the governance, because in public sector we have a lot of policies and the governance, to ensure that everything is in place. Okay, so hence by having effective or good critical thinking, then we have effective decision making, policy analysis, which will improve the governance and accountability in the public sector. All right. And in fact, critical thinking is crucial in all areas of life because we need to navigate complex problems, right? So even if you are outside of your work area, okay, and also in your work area in the public sector, you must navigate. You are faced with complex problems. So in order to navigate this complex problem, you have to have critical thinking so that you can make informed decision, you can develop sound arguments or strategies, right? And in the professional setting, it is very significant, and also in academic context, because we do a lot of research, we do a lot of teaching, learning, right? So therefore, that critical thinking becomes fundamental, right, for that we must have in the public sector, especially in the academic. Okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah, the last question from me, Prof. Nur.
Okay.
What are the strategies to cultivate both a growth mindset and critical thinking, please?
Okay. All right. Okay. So this one, I think the audience can, I have my slide on emotional intelligence. Please read up or visit what we mean by emotional intelligence. It goes like hand in hand with growth mindset and also critical thinking. Yeah, emotional intelligence. Okay, so here, what are the strategies to cultivate both a growth mindset and critical thinking? So, as I mentioned earlier, this growth mindset and critical thinking, if you want to have this in your organization, you must cultivate it. Cultivate meaning is like growing a tree. Yeah? You must put the baja and the water. So same as in your organization, you must foster a culture of learning and curiosity. Okay. And how do you do that? You promote continuous education and learning. Okay. You send your people, or you yourself go to courses, workshops, seminars, they attend coffee talks like what we have today, yeah, to expand knowledge and skills. So you encourage this in your organization. And when you deal with your colleagues or when you deal with your subordinate, people under you, you ask open-ended questions. In other words, you are trying to get people to give suggestion rather than ask them a question and they just answer yes or no. All right. So meaning to the strategy to foster this culture of learning and curiosity is not easy. You must have the patience. You must have the skill, right, to do so, especially if you are the boss. Right, you must have that patience. And then you emphasize the value of effort and persistence. Sometimes we want to just praise success. If people are successful, we are happy, we want to praise them. But if you want to have this growth mindset, critical thinking, you must also recognize and praise the effort. Sometimes people, they may not succeed because of, some problem that they encounter. But if you look at the effort, what they have done, they really try to solve the problem. You recognize that. Okay. So this is highlighting the importance of hard work and perseverance, which is essential for a growth mindset. You do not give up, you persevere. So how do you do this? You encourage viewing failure as opportunities to learn and grow. Okay, sorry, can you all hear me? Because the rain is quite heavy here. Inshallah.
No, but your voice is very clear.
Okay, all right, okay. So, you encourage the view that if someone fail, that is an opportunity to learn and grow. You do not punish people for failing, yeah. But of course, if they are not integrity, they commit things like that, then they are not ethical. Then of course you have to scold them. You have to punish them, yeah. But here, if they make an honest mistake, you must make sure that this is just setbacks. Learn from the mistake. Okay, and how it can be a stepping stone for the future. What other strategy in order to promote growth mindset and critical thinking? Promote self-reflection and self-assessment. So in other words, you always get in a group with your team and just reflect. Okay, what did we do wrong? What went wrong? What happened? What was the good thing that happened? So that they evaluate. Yeah? And as a leader, if you are the leader, the boss, you offer constructive feedback that focuses on how the tasks are performed, how they can be improved. So don't focus only on the outcome. Yes, if it is successful, Alhamdulillah, it is successful. But focus also on the process. Focus also on how the people in your team have grown from the process of doing this project. Okay? And then, of course, you develop that critical thinking skill. How? Use exercises, discussion. You sometimes maybe you have to go for training, and develop this critical thinking skill. Maybe present your teammates with a scenario and see how they apply critical thinking. All right? And then use real world problem to actually as a practice. So it needs practice. And of course, create opportunities for challenge and innovation. So again, to develop growth mindset and critical thinking, you need effort, right? So you create this opportunity. So encourage individuals to take on tasks that are outside of their comfort zone. Yeah. For example, when I was asked about this opportunity to speak today, I was quite busy, but to me, this is an opportunity, a challenge outside my comfort zone, because if not, I can just do my work, reading my students' thesis and things like that, but I challenge myself. So if in an organization, you create these opportunities and challenge, my boss also really encouraged us to do all these kind of things, yeah. And then in your organization, you provide the safe spaces for experimentation, where new ideas can be tested without fear or negative consequences if they fail. In an innovative organization, this is what they do. They actually give projects, and if there's a failure, it's okay. That person will not be reprimanded if the failure comes from trying new ideas. All right. So you must develop this situation, and of course you have mentors. Yeah. If you are the leader, if you are the boss, you must demonstrate a growth mindset and critical thinking. If you want your team members to have the growth mindset, critical thinking, you as a leader, you must have that first, so that people see and they learn from what you do. Okay, not from what you say. You as a leader, you say a lot of things, but people will learn by doing what you do as a leader. So that's why it's very important. You should demonstrate the growth mindset. How do you act when you are faced with challenges, for example? And then you establish mentorship. So I know that an organization, for example, McKinsey and Company, when someone new comes in, they automatically will pair that person with another person, a mentor, so that the new person can, know what to do, can actually enhance their mindset, growth mindset, critical thinking, because there's a mentor that they can look up to. Okay, and then encourage collaboration and diverse perspectives. So sometimes we like to work with people who have the same background as we do. We like to work all women, for example, or all from the same race. For example, in Malaysia, we are the Malays, the Chinese, the Indians, all from the same race, all female or all male. Actually, you must have that diverse perspective. So that's why in the board, board members in a company, the board members, diversity must be there. 30% must be women, and then in terms of education background, training, and so on and so forth. So when you have this diverse perspective, you will need to learn to accept other people's opinion, which may be different from yours. So with that, you will force yourself to have this growth mindset. So in a company, they must make sure that in a team that you have these differences, so that people can learn to work with one another, collaborate with one another. Okay? So mixed teams from different background and specialties.
Okay, Prof. Nur, unfortunately we don't have any time anymore, but thank you so much for your knowledge, for your sharing, and hope we can continue our discussion in the next session.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Nur. Nice to meet you, nice to know you.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay. Ute listeners, thank you so much for your attention in our program, Cafe Break program. Cafe Break, great program for public finance accounting citizens, SAWADIKAP, in collaboration with the Public Finance Accounting Study Program, Universitas Terbuka. Thank you so much for Professor Dr. Norhayati Mohamed, Professor at Accounting Research Institute, Universiti Teknologi, Malaysia. And also thank you so much for Mrs. Ratna Marta Dewi SAM ACCAK, the Head of Public Finance Accounting Study Program, for the welcoming words. And then see you again, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.